do we do? What do we do if there's no canoe on the island and no food? What do we start doing? Josh, what do we start doing?
Uh, Trying to grow our own, I guess. Trade.
Oh, we ruined our land. We ruined it. There's no food. What do we do? You can't go anywhere else. There's no trees to build canoes or boats or whatever. So what do you do if no more nothing?
Die on a hole or something? I don't know.
Alicia, what do we do? Let's just pretend that all of us, we're the last ones on the island. What do we do? No more food.
I'd say I'd be the first to go, but cannibalism.
Right. Kaheleaolani is like, oh no, I sleep with one eye open. No. Right?
Or you can eat horses like Tongans.
I'm not sure how to respond to that because it's not a derogatory thing, because it's actually correct that they do eat horses. But is it a degrading thing? Probably not, or not intended to be, but yes, right? Whereas like some other cultures eat dogs or other things in order to sustain. Okay. So anyway, what happens when we run out of people to eat? Who would want to make an agreement? So let's just say we're the only ones left on the island because we ate everybody else, or they died off, right? Because they starved. We would probably eat the people that died, right? You guys know that we can't make fires because there's no trees. You guys know that, right? So we would have to eat like ground hamburger meat, I mean, you'd have to maybe dry it, but that would probably take too long, right? Some beef jerky or something. Yum. I don't know. Could you just take a part of like your arm and just like eat that part and like still survive? Ooh. Anybody would want to join me in making an agreement saying, you know what, we're not going to eat each other. Anybody else want to join?
I would not, and I have a reason.
Okay, why?
So you talk about sustainability, right? When
Yes.
you think about it, there's no sustainability in that. It's just gonna drop off at one point, and nobody's gonna be able to eat anybody because there's gonna be nobody left to eat. It's not like you can grow more humans. So.
Or they would go behind your back and kill you while you're sleeping.
Thank you, Alyssa.
Yes. Hence the sleeping with one eye open. Okay, so let's just say, right, we end up eating, I don't know, 5 of you guys. Look, you guys are counting. Look, that one going first, and then, okay, so 5. And then like, I don't know, there's like maybe 3, maybe 2 of us left. What's going to happen? Right? There's 3 of us left. What are we going to do? We're going to junk and pull. Loser goes.
Whoever dies first gets eaten.
Yeah, right. I mean, that would be the way to go. I don't know. Okay, so why are we talking about cannibalism today? Well, because yes, it's not sustainable. You're right. We cannot sustain life eating each other if there's only us on the island, and then next thing you know, it's just Alyssa and me, and we're like, okay, it's either me or you, right? Junk and pull. Right. Okay, so I would encourage you guys to really look at this Hanaho article about what happened on Rapa Nui. So the Rapa Nuians, in this article, okay, they talk about how they grew up thinking that their people were really stupid. Like, how could they have done that to the point where they used up all their trees to move the, those big statues with the heads, right? On Rapa Nui, Easter Island, right? So they use those big the logs to roll or to move those giant carvings, those statues, to be placed in specific places, right? And they ended up using all their trees. So a lot of the people growing up, the descendants thought that they came from ancestors that were kind of stupid or didn't think things through. But what happened was a bunch of scientists went over and started digging up things to study what happened in the past, right? Archaeologists, right? They started to figure out, okay, they actually didn't cut down all of their trees, right? The person who cut down the last tree on Rapa Nui, that really wasn't, his fault. So they find out in this article, that the cause of the trees disappearing or not being like regenerated on Rapa Nui was due to the rats digging up the roots. And if you don't have good roots on a tree, it dies. You know that, right? And so just imagine the shift in thinking, right? That's why history is interesting. That's why we need people to go and find out the answers. Why? Because we might learn about history and then like 10 years later, we might find out that wasn't true, that the history needs to be adjusted, right? So just imagine like thinking your ancestors were one way and then finding out they actually weren't. They're actually really smart people, right? The impact on that could make on a person. Yeah. So anyway, this Hanaho magazine article is worth your time to read because it talks about that shift. Okay. And it also talks a little bit about collapse. Okay, let's move on. I'm back in the sustainability slides just real fast. Okay. You guys have your planners. Yeah. So right now, okay, I'm going to share my screen with you and you guys write in your planners, okay? So what we have here is we have our research paper, okay? We already passed by week 1. In week 1, we explored topics and started to gather research. So everybody should have been adding to their document that where you're supposed to be gathering the research, the links, things like that. Okay, so week 2, this week, you're going to continue to gather research because it's due this week. And then also you're going to you're going to start your outline today and you're going to finish it before you come to the next class. So write that down in your planners, please, that you have to finish gathering information and plugging in things to your outline because we're going to organize our thoughts today. Can ya? Okay. The following week when we come back, so that's the week of October 28th, we're going to start writing our papers in class. Can ya? Our first draft. Our first draft is going to have 7 small paragraphs. Real easy. Okay, and then the 4th week, we're going to revise our second draft. And then the 5th week, we're going to revise and turn in our final draft. And then we're going to start brainstorming our grassroots partnership project. Okay, so everybody clear on what's going on here. Okay, you got to stay on task. Why? If you don't do your research, how can you do your outline? If you don't do your research, how can you do your outline? If you don't have your outline done, how can you do your first draft? If you don't do your first draft, how can you revise it for the second draft? Okay, so some of you guys are gonna catch yourselves in a situation if you don't organize yourself properly. Okay, so you gotta do this. It's a process. This is a step-by-step process, and if you miss one step, it's gonna hold you back. Everybody clear on that? Okay, give me a thumbs up. Where's your other thumb? You got two? It's okay if you don't have two. We embrace everybody. Okay, Alicia, if you don't have two thumbs, it's fine. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's go through this now. Okay. Oh, just as a after we're done, right, with our research paper, what are we doing? Right? We're going to create a small group project. So it looks like we have enough people in our class to do 2 small groups. Okay. I'm gonna be setting you guys up into groups in the most efficient and effective way. So the puzzle pieces, you guys are the puzzle pieces. I'm gonna fit you guys together. Okay. Going backwards a little bit, the research paper, the objectives, okay? You cannot just do like, oh, rapid ohia death. Like, do not recycle your topics from middle school, okay? We're in high school now, do not do that, okay? And in fact, if you do that, you're not gonna get a good grade, trust me. Okay, so there's that. Just gonna skip back to your partnership project. Okay, really, you should be looking at these websites, because what happens is you can find out, like, this is a Hawaii Seedlink, this is a nonprofit organization, and then you can check out to see what they're doing. Okay, like, what are they doing, right? They are trying to create food security. Okay, if you guys click on the other links, right, we have Koholalele, but this is their actual web page that talks about who they are, right? What are some of the things they're doing in the community? Okay, what they're doing to Malama Aina. Okay, so just showing you guys this stuff. Okay, next we have the tree TP, and then this part. Okay, can everybody go ahead and get into the links and click into this one, and then let's do a side by side. So this is the framework for community-based sustainable development. Okay, if you look on the right-hand side, related proposals, these are examples or ideas of current sustainable topics that you guys could choose from. So go ahead and like take the time to click on a couple, like vertical hydroponic farming feed urban communities. So what is it, right? If you look, okay, look, to gain access to local fresh food while reducing their carbon footprint. That's the pitch. So one thing I want to point out is you see those numbers, there's numbers in these proposals. Why? Because you got to add your research to the proposal once we're done with our research paper, okay? So go ahead and check it out. There's many different things that are going on with, where's that other one? Look, rainwater harvesting, that's interesting. So we're stepping away again from the middle school topics of recycling, picking up trash, beach cleanup, woo, right? We're done with those. We need to move on, right? Rainwater harvesting. What the heck is that, right? I don't know if you guys have like a big tank of water because you live like HPP or something, right? And you're harvesting your water that way. It's amazing. You use the water for different things. There you go. So just to kind of set the tone today, right? Where no one should be talking about rod. If you want to talk about rod, then you got to go deeper. You gotta go wider. What? We talk about maybe the preservation of the watershed, right? Why trees are important to an island, right? So again, just a reminder, you're looking at the needs on our island, okay? You're not looking anywhere else. Just what does our community need, okay? Questions on that? Good? Okay. All righty. Let's go back into our Canvas, okay? And then when you hit the next button, we're going to be brainstorming our topics, okay? So I'm going to break you guys up into 2 small groups. So everybody should have this paper, okay? This paper, you see this right here? Pull this paper up. It's the Sustainability Extended Metaphor and Solution. This part right here, go ahead and pull this assignment up. You should have been working on this assignment. If you don't have this, okay, then I'm going to drop the link in the chat so you can make your own copy, okay? Okay, it's in the chat. You can go ahead and make a copy of this, but everybody should have a copy because we've been working on it for 2 weeks now. Okay. So you should have your topics that's related to environmental justice and sustainability. Okay, you should have at least 2 or 3 you're going to share out today. Okay, so when you go into the brainstorming topics, I'm going to break you guys up into 2 groups. Okay, so if you guys look, I gave you guys some sentence starters. After exploring, I'm interested in this, and this is why. And also, I'm also interested in the topic of this, and this is why. Okay, what's really going to be important, okay, is this. Your group members, people in your group, have to help you. This is you guys practicing, like bouncing ideas off of each other. So you're going to use this tag feedback. These are some examples of what you can start off with. So first, you're going to start by telling them something that you liked about their ideas. Next, you're going to ask them a question. And then G, you're going to give a suggestion for improvement. Okay, everybody clear on that? So the example that I'm going to give you happened in the last class. One of my students said they wanted to work on coral bleaching. And so I said, okay, why? Why do you want to work on coral bleaching? Right? Because in my head, I'm thinking that's a middle school project. Okay. So we start talking about it. So, I really like that you chose coral bleaching because it's something that's totally related. Okay. But why? So then I asked the question, but why are you choosing coral bleaching? And she said that, look, coral is like the first step in the food chain in the ocean. And so if we don't have coral, we don't have fish. And then we don't have bigger fish, right? And then we don't have people because then we're going to have to start eating each other because not going to have food to eat, right? And we don't want to go there. So that's part of this project, right? Preventing cannibalism. So the next thing would be to give that suggestion. So what I said was, so how are you going to prove this? I think maybe you should expand, right? Maybe expand and talk about the importance of fresh water or the importance of preventing water pollution. Anybody heard that somebody is poisoning one of our streams in Hamakua Anybody heard about that? They're dumping poison into one of the streams out Hamakua for some crazy reason. And all like, you know, the crawfish, you know, those little opai in the streams, they're all dying. I'm like, why would anybody do that? You can't even eat it anymore, right? So kind of weird. But so my suggestion to her was to maybe widen the topic and talk about the health of our water. Makes sense, yeah? So I need you guys to bounce off these ideas between each other, okay? This is part of the exercise today. Okay, you guys ready? You guys have like 2 or 3 topics to share out, okay? Because this is gonna get us to submitting our actual topic we're focused on. Okay, everybody ready? Breakout rooms. Even if you don't have anything, maybe you can talk about what is something you're thinking about, okay? So, I don't know, set your timers to about 10 minutes. I think 10 minutes is a good amount of time. Okay, you're gonna be stuck in those rooms. You guys need to make sure that you guys ask each other questions, give suggestions, right? Hey, that sounds a little basic. Maybe we should like boost it by, I don't know, doing this instead, okay? All right, 10 minutes, go. Okay, who are you guys all done? You can't be done. There's no way.
We still got Josh.
Okay. So Josh, what are you thinking about doing? Come on. What are you thinking about researching?
I don't know. I'm still looking.
It's not a good answer. You've had 2 weeks to think about this. So you have no idea what you're gonna research? Okay. Yeah, you got a lot of work to catch up on. Okay, Caleb, what was your topic?
I was gonna do like reef bleaching, like you said, but I changed it to water harvesting.
Okay, cool. So with your research, right, the needs of the community, well, people are already doing it, right, in HPP. I don't know where do you live?
HPP.
Okay, so you understand. But there's many issues, right, that is attached to that you can totally dive into. Like what?
Like sometimes like the water like is not drinkable, like the filters are not good.
Right. Okay, what else?
Like if it's like a drought, you might not have water.
Right now I think we're in a drought. Like I mean, you might see your parents tapping on the catchment tank to see like where the water level is. Like might be low right now. Okay. What else? There's many issues. What else would be an issue with water harvesting and even keeping the water clean? Anybody else can add to this? Like what would be some of the dangers of water harvesting?
Like stuff can get in the water. Like
Okay, like what? There you
Like-
go.
slugs.
Right. What
Mosquitoes.
what is that?
Mosquitoes.
Right, mosquitoes. Whoo, that would be horrors if you drink, you know. Those of you guys who have catchment tanks, do you guys put something around the catchment tank so things like the slugs don't crawl up on the sides?
Yeah, like a tarp.
Right, there's a tarp.
Also
Is
have they have like this powder thing that keeps like bugs away.
Mm-hmm.
We put it around our campsites when we go camping
Right,
to keep the ants and stuff out.
right. But what if the slug takes it up and then goes in? Could you potentially poison yourself? Maybe, right? I don't know how
We
much
don't drink
poison.
our catchment water like at all.
You don't
we get-
drink your catchment water.
None of
Yeah,
it.
I don't either.
So what is it used for? Showering and
Washing dishes.
washing dishes, right? And then what? You guys have like those giant 5-gallon tubs.
We have and then you take it down like to the park or something and refill it.
Right. Trust me, I know. I used to live in HPP. That's like the worst chore to go fill up water. Because when there's no water, it's like, ooh. Okay. All right. You know, Caleb, I think that's a better choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe expand it to the whole like water quality or water harvesting. Okay. Because with that, then you're gonna research, well, how many people have, right? What is the percentage of people? How much would 1 gallon of water be if I bought it at the store in comparison to harvesting my own water and then filtering it through, right? Because depending on which filters you buy, they can be really expensive as well. You guys know this, right? But you also have to add bleach to the water catchment tank. Do you guys ever see your parents doing that? You got to add about a cup of bleach every so often to keep the water catchment clean, the tank. But it's not enough bleach to kill you or make you sick. But I usually would add the bleach when it was like raining hard, because then at least it would stir inside the tank on its own. But anyway, okay, what about you, Alicia? What's your topic you're thinking about researching?
The what you would call the cropland the rehabilitation and the forest land kind of stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Do you have somebody in your family that could help you with that?
Hmm, Well, my uncle guys like they do landscaping, all that kind of stuff, and they know how to keep like forests healthy and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Do you live in HPP too?
I live in Glenwood.
Okay. So even like if you've been down there or whatever, people are just bulldozing their lots, leaving no trees, right? So we
Yeah.
got some issues with like the Lorax, right? The Lorax is like good nuts right now. Okay, so I think that's a really good topic to choose because the health of our forest allows rain to come, right? So, okay, Josh, what about you? You've had some time to kind of think this through. What about you?
So I want to research sustainable urban foods for climate change.
Oh, did you find that in that link that I sent you guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I did. That's cool. I'm just looking for what tab that is for me. Ugh. Okay, sounds good. With that, yeah. Why would that be a need for? Why would you research that? What is the need in our community? Josh, can you hear me?
What was that?
What would the need be in our community for that? Your topic.
Mean, since we are an island, we could end up like that, like Rapa Nui. So I guess herbs would be better for and the climate. We might end up underwater if the temperature keeps on rising. So
Yeah. Okay, cool. You are gonna have to research like what's already happening on this island, right? Okay, so make sure you you look at that. Okay, all right. I'm gonna just check in with the other group. Go ahead and you know that link I sent you guys in the chat? Yeah.
Article.
No, not down. It's in it's in the sustainability slides. Actually, I'm just gonna send it in the chat again. You know where there's all those proposals? Here, I'll just give that to you. Here. The link is right there. Go ahead and just look through. Maybe you'll find something that's kind of like along the lines of what you guys are thinking about doing. Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go and check out the other group and then we'll end it. Okay. But Josh, keep thinking about a topic, yeah?
Sorry, I dropped my phone.
Okay, real fast. Kaheleolani, what was your topic?
I want to do something about either like
What?
it's kind of broad. I was trying to think of something more
Okay, what was your starting point?
like stick with it, but I didn't know if that was the simple. So I was trying to think of something else.
Try say your topic one more time. I don't know. I cannot hear you. I'm getting old.
Like plastic reduction, but I was trying to become more specific, but I didn't know. So.
Yeah. So yeah, we kind of want to stay away from plastic because that is like a never ending problem. Does that make sense? Like that is the end, that is the result of people wanting to live an easier life. So as you guys know, plastic is never going to go away, right? And people use it because it's just easier, right? You can throw it away after you use it. right? But it also, like, everything we own is plastic. It's kind of crazy. Our phones are plastic. Our pens, yeah. So shame how many pens I have. Like, do I need 30 pens? Like, anyway, but maybe what I could do is I could suggest that maybe you look at, like, how sustainable is our energy source, right? Here on this island, right? It looks like there's one on microgrids, franchise microgrids. So that might be something. Food initiatives is a big one because, you know, if we ship stuff from the mainland, I mean, that's already taking a toll on the climate. Okay, so maybe think about that. Also, though, maybe one of the not social, but the environmental justice topics deals with this opportunity that we missed in reopening our state. How many people have come to Hawaii since the last 5 days of it being reopened? Do you guys know?
I think it was like 10,000 the first 2 days. So it's probably like
Yeah.
a
So
lot.
the last number I saw was like 36,000 in 5 days. I mean, that's a lot. Okay, so I think some people think, right, that our state missed an opportunity to create regulations for that, right? Like, oh, we already have 10,000 people coming this month. Wait your turn, you know, sign up. Here's the list, right? What else? People are buying, so they're trying to, like, avoid COVID by moving here. What you think about that? Eventually, what? We have people homeless over here, right? Believe it or not, I know it's really expensive to buy a house here, but believe it or not, people from America sees the prices of the houses or the land here and they think it's a bargain. Crazy, yeah? So there's that, right? So Kaheleaolani, maybe you want to look into the impact of visitors. I believe last year we had like several million tourists come to Hawaii Islands. You think about how many of those tourists drank water from the plastic water bottles. You think how much toilet paper they used. You think how much sunscreen they used and put it into, right? So the impact of tourism might be something you want to look at since you're looking at plastics. Does that make sense, Kaheleaolani? Okay. Just pushing you into a more like present, yeah, plastics is a problem, but what is a more present issue that we could maybe find a lot of research on? Okay. All right, next. Kalahikiola, what about you?
I was thinking about doing um organic versus non-organic fertilizers
Why fertilizers? That's interesting.
because non-organic fertilizers are harmful for the environment, and it's a big problem, especially in Ohio.
And here,
Oh, I'm not sure about here, but
yeah, because we use a lot of fertilizer to make sure the golf courses are green, right? So like you think of Ko'olina, right? Or you think, yeah, on in Honolulu, as you pass like you gotta head past the airport, and you go all the way out there. There's a Ko'olina, like, you know, the Aulani Hotel, the Disney Hotel out there, water parks. Well, anyway, we have plenty golf courses on this island, right? They got to keep the grass green so that people can pay a lot of money to go golf in Hawaii, right? So the runoff from the fertilizer goes into the ocean, kills the reefs, right? So it's all connected. I think that's a good topic, fertilizer, also because it's going to relate to what's happening now with the pandemic, right? We need to be sustainable. We cannot be shipping bags and bags of fertilizer here, right? Also, you're going to look more historically at the fertilizers and chemicals that were brought in to help raise sugarcane. Major issues with like cancer, major issues with poisoning the land, with these one crop planting, right, with the sugarcane. Okay, maybe even the impact of, it's called bagasse. So I think you do some bodyboarding, yeah. You know, when it rain, you don't go in the ocean. Surfing. So anyway, when it rains really hard and Hilo Bay gets stirred up, there's all this rubbish that is like sitting at the bottom. That's bagasse. But it started with like the sugarcane plantations. And so that's why Hilo Bay is ugly. Okay, like gross. So you might want to talk about that. Okay, all right. Hayden, what about you?
Well, Kala put me on the topic of global warming, but I just changed it to Hawaii's. We are the fuel that we use to get our electricity, which is petroleum, and it's like one of the most or it's what we like. If you look at the pie chart, that's what our biggest piece of the pie is, right? Petroleum. Right. And it's really expensive. It's like one of the most expensive fuels, I think, compared to coal and other things. And we use it here in Hawaii mostly. And I was thinking about finding ways to have better energy, or finding ways to get better ways to get energy.
Right, more sustainable ways, right? So the energy one is a big deal because on this island, right, we have wind energy and we have geothermal, right? And there's kind of cultural issues with both. Okay, especially with the wind farm in, I think it was Kahuku, was that, do you remember? Okay, so there's that. Yeah, I think that would be very interesting, especially when you look at like maybe the ancestral knowledge. What was their source of energy, right, in the past? Did they have any of that kind of energy issues? What would it be, right? So that'd be kind of interesting to look at. Okay, Brooke, I know that, you know, you've had very short time to think about this, okay, but is there some kind of topic that you're interested in dealing with that's kind of current?
I'm not really sure yet.
Okay, so you know the link that I sent you that you can kind of look at like some proposals, maybe that's a starting point. Okay, there's this water issue that popped up in Maui right now that's happening in Lahaina. These like, this company wants to put in these huge water pipes and it's going to go through a place where there's EV. And so people are trying to stop them from digging up the earth to put in these water tanks, these water like pipes, big ones, like huge. Okay, but maybe you can talk about some kind of water issue if that would be interesting to you. Okay, some kind of water issue. I know Caleb in the other group, he's looking at the sustainability of water. Okay. Yeah, so does anybody live like HPP side? No? Okay, you guys are all like Hilo-ish. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm gonna stop the breakout rooms and then we'll move on. Hayden, do you guys have solar at your house?
Nope.
Yeah, me neither. I don't have solar. You know, people are like, my friends just put in solar panels at their house, and so they only pay $25 to Helco every month, but the rest of the energy, like they use to like they used to run their air conditioning. Yeah, or they use it to help pump their water into their house or whatever it is. But I just wonder, like, so our solar panels, can you recycle those things? You know, like what happens after you're done with the solar panels? Do they have a shelf life? So those are the things I want you to go and research. Yeah, like, is wind energy sustainable? Right? Have you been down to Kalai, South Point? You have? Have you seen those old windmills? It looks like a graveyard of windmills. Just all the pieces all over the place. Maybe you can Google it. It's pretty interesting. Okay. How's everybody doing? We doing okay? I'm just pointing out, yeah, if you don't find a good topic that you can relate to, okay, this is going to be painful. So I need you guys, right? That's why we took 2 weeks to find a good topic. Okay. I do not want you guys, again, to choose a topic that you're recycling from middle school. That you cannot do. Okay. I want you to use the knowledge that the stuff you're learning also in your biology class. If you have Kumuhaya's class, you can incorporate maybe some of the things that you're reading in her class into your research paper. Okay, but the point is that use what you know, okay? But don't recycle your same paper from middle school, okay? All right, let's move on. Let's go back into our Canvas. Kiola just came back. Okay, so let's go into our Canvas. You need to submit your topic in the brainstorm topic. If you don't know yet, then you need to submit it ASAP. Okay, so do you see where I'm at in the brainstorming topics? I think you can just type in a text box and just submit your topic. Okay, so go ahead and do that. And then we're gonna move on to the next thing. Okay, so after you're done, hit the next button and we'll go from there. So Brooke, I think you're not ready to submit a topic yet, yeah? Okay, so go ahead and go to the next part where it says gathering research. I'm just gonna move you ahead while they submit their topic, okay? And so go ahead and click on copy this worksheet and make a copy and make your own. Okay, got it? Okay, awesome. And then go ahead and replace copy with your name and then share the settings to anyone with the link can comment so that you have that going on because you're going to be submitting this this week. Okay. You're submitting this week, and so it's very important that you make this copy, and then we're going to get started. Everybody done? Okay, let's go on. Go ahead and click on your sustainability extended metaphor solution. This is where you're gathering the information. So I'm going to share my screen real fast to talk story with you guys about this. All right, so you should have had 3 topics typed in here, go ahead and highlight the one that you chose. If it's something different, then just say I chose a different topic and write it in. Okay, quickly, go ahead and do that. Okay, good. Can I move on? Yes or no? Yes, can. Alicia, you good? All right, so everybody is on their copy of Sustainability Extended Metaphor Solution. Yes? Okay, so let's do this. Go into the first like table where you see your claim. Okay, or this is your thesis, so you can also add in the word thesis. So what is the point to your research paper, right? Type that in there. That's going to be what you're trying to prove, right? Or what you're researching, right? So you might want to start with the importance of blah, 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 or the need of my community is this. Therefore, I'm going to be what, right? Therefore, I'm seeking solutions for what? What are you researching? Okay, so you may want to start with the needs of my community deals with whatever it is. I think Caleb is doing water, right? Therefore, right? Research was done on alternative water sustainability solutions, something like that, okay? Go ahead and take the time to do that. Anybody need help in typing their claim or thesis? Okay, you guys good? All right, next, metaphor. We're just gonna try this, all right? So the next box below that is your metaphor. So I want you to think about the topic you chose. What is a metaphor that you could compare your topic to, right? So if we're talking about water, what is something that's unlike that you could compare it to, right? Okay, my last class, they were talking about food sustainability. So one student said that they're going to link either seeds to the metaphor, like seeds, like you plant in the ground, or like somebody's, like an opu, or like an emu, just to have this metaphor of their topic. Okay, if you're doing water, maybe the metaphor is what, right? A cup. Okay, just to think about it as you go through this, okay? So let's move on, because some of you guys might have to think about this a little bit more, because the metaphor piece is kind of hard when you're connecting a topic, right? So let's move on. If you don't know yet, then that's okay. we'll work on that. Okay, next, you have 5 total sources. You're required to have 5. Show me 5. Thank you. All right, so the first part you can do is click on to Ulukau, and that's where you're gonna find more of like ancestral knowledge or songs that talk about like land or food or water, right? As you guys do this, it's important to find maybe stories or songs, mo'olelo about your topic. So how are you going to do this? Anybody read La'ie Ikavai in middle school? Or The Wind Gourd of La'amaumau? Or Kumu Kavika Air's book on Kamehameha? Yes. Okay, I want you to think about those types of mo'olelo that you could incorporate into your, as one of your sources of information. Why? Because those are sources of information, the stories of the past, right? The stories of the past, meaning the actual knowledge from the past. So what do we have here? For example, why is food sustainability important? Okay. Well, if you look back at like the story of Umi, or if you look back after Kamehameha conquered the island of Oahu, what did he do after he conquered Oahu? He stayed there. He stayed there, and what did he do? Anybody remember? Josh, you remember? No? Kalahikiola.
Did he tend to the people?
He did. How? What would be a way he would maybe make sure they were secure? Okay. All right. So these are the kinds of things I need you to start thinking critically about. Okay. So how does one rise to power, right? Oh, they got to go and fight other people, right? So we're talking about like ancestral knowledge, right? So we know that even on our island, Mokuokeawe, right? We know that there were battle after battle after battle, right? In order to claim somebody's land or to flex, right? On the land so that you become the Ali'inui. In order for them to even have people fighting for them, what did they need? Anybody know? Take a guess. If you need soldiers in your, I don't know, your ahupua'a, right? To be strong, what do you need? Ooh, interesting. Story of Umi. What was there in order for him to go and become the king? Anybody? Ooh, you guys. Interesting. So these are the things you're going to start to notice. Before every battle, there is a feast. Why? Before the major battles, people had to eat, right? So what did they have to do, right? They had to make sure that they had crops, they had food in order to eat so that they're prepared to what?
Fight.
Right, because if you're hungry, that giant spear you're using, what? Would be so sad. You could only throw a chopstick, right? You need food, right? So going back to Kamehameha, you know, I talked about Umi, but like, in order for him to conquer the rest of the islands, he needed food. After he conquered the island of Oahu, he stayed back and helped produce food. He helped tend to the mala And people thought, oh my gosh, he's doing work so beneath him. But he knew that if he didn't put his hands in the soil, there was no food. And if there was no food, his people would be unstable, right? You need food. What happens when no more food? Same thing, what happens when there's no toilet paper, right? What happens? People go crazy, right? And then they start jockeying for positions so that they can be stable again. Okay, so you guys, I want you guys to look through the Mo'olelo and find important facts, find important events in history that talk about sustainability regarding your topic. Can you guys understand what I'm talking about? Okay, so you're gonna say, like, you know, for example, one of the solutions of the past that worked was what, right? Tending to pay attention to the konohiki. If the konohiki says there's a kapu on this, you know why, right? Because it's spawning time and you do not fish when more fish are making more fish, right? Because that's you cutting off the land. Okay, all right. Next, let's go back into your document and I need you to click on this link to EBSCOhost. Okay, so there's a password, there is a username that you have to use. Everybody see that? Brooke, you see that? Okay, so what are we doing? We're grabbing information from UluCal, from EBSCOhost, and maybe from the World Wide Web. But what are we doing? We're presenting a range of information so that we seem balanced and that we seem informed. Everybody understand what we're doing? They don't just have all internet sources from a specific source. Make sure it's all different types of sources. So when you click into EBSCOhost and you get in, everybody there? Yes or no? Yeah? Okay. So this search engine is really cool because these are all like academic articles. These are all academic. You don't even have to like double check that they are credible sources of information. So this is a very powerful tool. When you're looking at that, everybody see my screen, correct? Okay, when you look, go to high school students right there and click on that one. That one's helpful. And when you click on that one, we have the search engine. Okay, so the topic might be what, like renewable energy for Hayden, right? Anybody focusing on food? The food, being sustainable with food? Yes or no? Nobody? You know what? The food supply chain is a really interesting topic. In meaning, where do we get our food from? How are we getting our food? Like, we go to the store and we go and we're like, okay, we gotta buy a bag of rice. And then you go there and there's no bags of rice except for the brown rice. What do, right? Eat the brown rice. Okay, no. Alicia's like, no, I don't eat brown rice. It's gross, right? But that's the food supply chain. If that breaks, and our food supply chain is really fragile. Why? Because it's the barge, right? If the barge is done, our food supply chain is done. Then what? You're going to eat uwala all day long. You're going to eat kalo and ulu. Anybody ate ulu all day long? It's hard. Unless there's butter. But who makes butter here? Right? So, Brooke, I don't know if you have a topic yet, but this food supply chain is a very interesting topic because our island is actually considered Aina Momona, right? We have really good soil here, right? And we should be able to sustain life. We should be able to grow enough food. In fact, we do grow enough food to sustain everybody on this island, but we like McDonald's, so we have issues with that, okay? So anyway, you might want to go in that direction. The point is that I need you to use this search engine to present a a balanced and diverse group of sources of information. Okay, got it? Okay, so let's look. Go back to your own document. So I think in middle school you learned about the CRAP test, right? So make sure you check the date. Show me 5 fingers. Do not choose any information less than 5 years unless you're looking at Mo'olelo, obviously, okay? Because that's going to exceed 5 years, obviously. Okay. Look at the relevance. Make sure that the information you need is related to what you're talking about. Authority, make sure that it's not Uncle Brada down the road talking about whatever. Make sure it's accurate. You better be looking for numbers, statistics, dates, right? Important information. And then the purpose, make sure the purpose is on point. Okay, go down to the first box where it says number 1, website. Everybody see that? Right, so look for a credible site that you can find information. This gathering of information should be pretty easy. Why? Because you're gonna be selecting or highlighting something off the website that you chose, and you're going to be copying and pasting it into the right hand side. Everybody see that? Josh, you see that? Okay, so because you are looking at things mostly on like online resources, you can copy and paste, copy and paste. I would just bullet them. Make sense? This is you guys gathering sources and information. Okay, scroll down to number 2, the video. Next to video, go ahead and write down TED, T-E-D-E-D, TED Ed. You guys can go look on, the TED videos that we've all watched in school. Plenty on sustainability, plenty on innovative ideas to live a more successful life, okay? Did you guys all type that in there? Yes, Josh? TED Ed. Okay, so find something. Yeah, you can go look on YouTube, but make sure it's credible. How many of you guys ever looked on YouTube and you were like, oh, this is my topic. And then you look and it's some kid's school project. Anybody ever saw something like that? Yeah, don't choose that because some kid around your age made their own, I don't know, video. That's not a credible source. Please don't use that. Okay, so video. Next one, number 3, article. That's where you can use EBSCOhost. Scroll down. So you're gathering all the information on the left. Yeah, author, title of source, title of container. Okay, number 5. I need you to gather Olelo No'eau, Mo'olelo, Chant, Mele, that stuff, right? Go ahead and type in ulukau.org. That's where you're gonna find this stuff. Okay, type that in, or you can copy and paste it from the top. So at least you know where to look for that. I need to see information on the right-hand side as well. Yeah, so again, copying and pasting, copying and pasting. Okay, questions on that? Good. This is due before you come back to class next week. If this is not due, how can you do your outline? Your outline is due next week. Okay, so go back into Canvas. Okay, hit the next button, and this is the final thing I'm gonna be covering, and then we gotta go. So we're gonna be working on our outline for our essay. These are the 3 questions I want you guys to focus on. Okay, what is the point of your research? How are you going to justify your point? And how are you going to make it clear to someone else? This is the whole thing with CER, right? Claim, evidence, reason. So you're going to do this over and over again in your paper. We're not even writing our paper. We're just doing the outline. Only the outline. Okay, so you're going to organize. The way I'd like you guys to think about you organizing your information is you guys being like on your social media, and you make sure you check right before you post things, because you don't want to post incorrect information, right? Or you don't want to post something that would make you look a certain way, right? In a negative way, right? You guys are called what is called curators. You check out whatever it is that you are going to be posting, and you make sure that it's real. you make sure that it's true, and you make sure that it doesn't shed negative light on you, right? Because your existence on social media could determine you getting into college, obviously, right? Or even getting a job down the road. So what we have here is we have an example of a counter argument, and you're going to be adding those into your outline. Okay, so go ahead, let's make a copy of the outline. Here's the link to your outline. Go ahead and make a copy. Josh, make a copy of the outline, please. Click on that, make a copy. Set the sharings to anyone with the link can't comment. Okay, you're going to be submitting your outline here. You cannot submit your outline if you don't have your gathering your facts done. The gathering your facts document is worth 25 points. You don't do that, I'm not grading your outline. Okay, everybody clear on the step by step. If you don't do this, then you can't do that. Okay, you cannot go to the beach if you never do your chores. Same thing. You guys know that. All right, so look at the outline. You have seven paragraphs. Okay, the first is the top is the introduction, the last is the conclusion. So you're going to have 5 body paragraphs. So if you look, body paragraph number 2, you're going to talk about the needs of your community. Okay, because if it's not a need in your community, then why are you researching it? Why are you bringing it up? Okay, and remember, it needs to be specific to our island. Everybody good on that? Give me a thumbs up. I'm going over this outline, okay? And if you have questions, tomorrow I can work with you step by step. It says you're gonna come up with point 1. This is what I found. You're gonna provide the evidence. So that's you copying and pasting from the other doc, right? So it's not very much work. You just gotta organize this. First, second, third, first, second, third. How are you gonna elaborate? Can you write down somewhere on this? No complete sentences, only notes. If you type out your entire essay on this, I'm not going to grade it, because an outline is just notes. Give me a thumbs up. Josh, you know what I'm talking about? What? What am I talking about? What are we on right now? You're on mute.
Solutions for the present, like something we could do to help.
I'm just talking about the outline and how you shouldn't be writing complete sentences in your outline just because it's just an outline. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you look at body paragraph number 2, that's your second paragraph. Identify the needs of the community. Okay. Body paragraph number 2, which is present solutions. You're going to look up the present solutions. Okay. And then you're going to provide a point. This is what's going on. Now, the counter argument or the counter claim or the counterpoint, they're all the same. Different terms, same meaning. Okay, so you're going to present a counterpoint. What is that, right? It's a counter argument, right? It's going to say, yeah, you need to have, we all have, what do you call those things? Catchment tanks, for example, right? But the counter argument to the catchment tank would be, yeah, you can have catchment tanks, but if they are dirty, they could potentially harm you. Does that make sense? So what are we doing? We're also addressing the downside of the present solutions, so that we're saying, yeah, we're aware of the negative side of whatever we're presenting. Everybody good on that? Right? You guys are really good at providing counterpoints because you guys are teenagers, right? It's like when you ask, oh, can I go to the beach? And then somebody says, no. Oh, why? Don't you want me to go outside and play? Right? That's a counter argument. You guys are good at it. You guys are experts at it. I know. I have little sisters. Okay. So if you guys look, you have another present solution. So that's body paragraph number 3. So you have 2 paragraphs focused on that. The second, body paragraph number 4 though is focusing on the possible solutions, and this is where the mo'olelo is going to come in, right? So what did your ancestors do in the past that could be a possible solution to your topic? Everybody good on that, right? So going back to Caleb, I'm like practically helping you write your paper, but that's okay, right? I'm going back to how did your kupuna take care of the water, right? In order to grow the taro, right? Don't touch the water, right? Make sure it's clean, right? Lots of hard work, all of that. What's the counterpoint to that? Maybe that's not a viable solution right now, right? Because there's too many chemicals in the streams, something like that, right? That would be your counterpoint. Okay. Paragraph number 5 is a possible solution, and then you're going to wrap it up with a call to action and closing thought. This is due, Alicia, this is due before I see you next time. Okay. I went 2 minutes over. We're going to end class. Email me if you have questions. You still have Membean, right? I'm eyeballing you guys. Yeah, there you go. Beautiful eyes. Okay. Got it? Okay, Brooke, 1 second. Josh, 1 second, okay? 1 second, Josh. Okay, bye, you guys. Go. Okay. All right, just real fast, Josh. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time, okay? We gotta redo your, and then also Brooke, you gotta take your IXL test as well. So you gotta meet as well. Okay, so both of you guys are gonna see you guys tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Brooke, wait, yeah, Josh. If you need help with your topic, email me, okay? Okay, thank you. Brooke. Okay, bye. Brooke. What topic are you thinking about?
I'm deciding between the water one or the food chain. So I might do the food chain one though.
Okay. Maybe you can bounce ideas off of when you go home, somebody at home. If that's, yeah, talk about it, because maybe somebody at home can give you a little bit more insight as well, as like, oh yeah, that would be. So what would be more important? It's kind of hard to think, yeah, water or food. They're kind of both important. So I don't know if you want to link those two together or you just want to focus on one. Up to you, okay? Okay, you have any questions?
Not really.
So you understand we're in a different unit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we're just like, this is our research paper unit. Every year we got to go through this research paper. It's kind of painful, but I'm trying not to make it be so painful by really, you get to choose whatever topic you want to choose for environmental justice. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay. Email me if you need. Okay. Bye. See you tomorrow.